Have you ever thought about what would really happen if a zombie apocalypse started tomorrow? Movies make it look terrifying. One infected person becomes 2, 2 become 10. Before long, entire cities are overrun by the undead. It feels almost inevitable. But here's the surprising truth. If zombies ever existed, they probably wouldn't survive for more than a few weeks. Not because humans would immediately defeat them, but because nature would. To understand why, we first have to answer a simple question. What exactly is a zombie? In almost every version of the story, zombies are dead humans that somehow keep moving. Their hearts don't beat. Their lungs don't breathe. Many don't even have functioning organs. Yet they can walk, run, see, hear, and chase people for miles. It makes for great entertainment. But from a biological standpoint, almost none of it makes sense. Every movement your body makes requires energy. Even something as simple as lifting your arm takes thousands of muscle fibers working together. Where does that energy come from? Food. More specifically, your cells convert the food you eat into a molecule called ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. Think of ATP as your body's rechargeable battery. Every heartbeat, every blink, every step runs on it. The problem is that your body can't store very much ATP. You only carry enough to keep your cells running for a few seconds. To keep moving, your body must constantly make more. And that requires oxygen, nutrients, and a working metabolism. Now think about a zombie. Its heart isn't pumping blood. Its lungs aren't delivering oxygen. Its digestive system isn't processing food. Without those systems, ATP production stops almost immediately. The muscles would have enough energy for only a few moments. Then, nothing. No walking, no grabbing, not even standing. The zombie wouldn't slowly shuffle through the streets. It would collapse almost instantly. But let's be generous. Suppose a mysterious virus somehow keeps the body alive while bypassing all those biological limits. Even then, the problems are only beginning. Every time you move, tiny tears form inside your muscles. That's completely normal. Your body repairs them while you rest, making the muscles stronger than before. It's why exercise works. But without a functioning circulatory system delivering oxygen and nutrients, those microscopic injuries never heal. Every step damages the muscles a little more. Every chase weakens them further. Eventually, muscle fibers begin to fail. Ligaments stretch. Tendons tear. Joints become unstable. A zombie doesn't get stronger by hunting. It slowly destroys its own body every time it moves. And that's before we even consider something even more destructive: decay. The moment a person dies, millions of bacteria already living inside the body begin breaking it down. The immune system normally keeps these bacteria under control, but after death, that defense disappears. The bacteria spread rapidly through organs and tissues, digesting the body from the inside. Then, insects arrive. Flies can detect a dead body within minutes. They lay eggs. Those eggs hatch into maggots that consume soft tissue at astonishing speed. Outside, fungi begin growing. Sunlight damages exposed skin. Rain softens tissue. Wind, heat, and cold all accelerate decomposition. Nature wastes absolutely nothing. A corpse isn't designed to last. It's designed to be recycled, which means every single day, the zombie is literally falling apart. By the end of the first week, movement would already become more difficult. After a few more weeks, muscles would detach from bones. Skin would split open. Joints would lose stability. Even if the brain somehow stayed active, the body carrying it wouldn't. And we've only talked about what happens inside the zombie. We haven't even considered the biggest enemy waiting outside. Because if the zombie virus somehow managed to defeat biology, it would still have to survive the rest of the living world. And nature is far more ruthless than any human survivor. Let's imagine the impossible. Somehow, the zombie virus solves every problem we've talked about. It keeps the muscles moving. It prevents the body from running out of energy. It even slows down decay. Surely now, zombies could take over the world, right? Not quite. Because they still have to survive something every living creature faces: the environment. Humans survive because our bodies constantly regulate themselves. When it's hot, we sweat to cool down. When it's cold, we shiver to generate heat. Our immune system fights infections, repairs wounds, and adapts to new threats every day. A zombie does none of that. Leave one standing under the summer sun for days, and its tissues would dry out like leather. Expose it to freezing temperatures, and the water inside its cells would expand into ice, damaging muscles and tendons. Strong winds, heavy rain, and rough terrain would slowly wear its body down. Nature never stops, and neither does damage. Then there are animals. Movies often show humans running from zombies, but wildlife wouldn't. To a scavenger, a zombie is just another walking meal. Crows would peck at exposed flesh. Rats would gnaw on weakened limbs. Insects would burrow into wounds. Larger scavengers would tear away chunks of muscle. Every bite makes the zombie weaker. Every missing tendon makes movement harder. Unlike a living person, it can't heal the damage. It only accumulates. Then comes another problem that zombie movies rarely mention: the brain. Everything a zombie does, walking, seeing, hearing, chasing, still depends on a functioning brain. But the brain is one of the most fragile organs in the body. Without a constant supply of oxygen and nutrients, brain cells begin dying within minutes. Even if a fictional virus somehow kept the brain alive, it would still be vulnerable to dehydration, trauma, infection, and time. A damaged brain doesn't become a better hunter. It becomes less coordinated, slower, less aware. Eventually, even standing upright becomes impossible. And then there's reproduction. Every successful species survives because it can replace the individuals it loses. Wolves have pups. Birds lay eggs. Bacteria divide. Even viruses multiply inside living cells. Zombies don't create new zombies on their own. They rely entirely on infecting healthy humans. That means their survival depends on one thing: there always being enough people left to infect. But as humans isolate, defend themselves, and the zombie population literally falls apart day by day, the number of new infections would eventually drop. Once there are no new hosts, the zombie population can only shrink. It never recovers. Think of a candle. At first, the flame can spread to other candles, but once every nearby candle has already burned or been removed, the fire has nowhere left to go. It doesn't keep growing forever. It slowly burns itself out. A zombie outbreak works the same way. At first, it might spread rapidly, but unlike humans, zombies can't repair themselves, adapt, or reproduce. Every day, they become fewer, weaker, slower, until eventually, nature finishes what it started. So, could zombies ever exist? Maybe in fiction, maybe in games, maybe on the big screen. But in the real world, they wouldn't lose to fearless survivors, secret military weapons, or a last-minute miracle. They'd lose to something much more powerful: biology. Because no matter how terrifying a zombie may seem, it still has to obey the same laws of nature that every living thing does. And those laws don't make exceptions, not even for the undead.